issue.
Right, and could you adjust the procedure if you knew, okay, they need high volumes of this, could you match that and...
18 to 22 week neural specimens against the biochemistry intact.
You could do that.
Yeah, I think we can.
Well, that rocked Planned Parenthood, but now 2 of the undercover folks involved have been charged with crimes in Texas. Joining us from New York City, Kimberly Guilfoyle, here in Los Angeles, Lise Wheel. What are the charges, Wheel?
A felony charge of using fake California IDs, driver's license specifically, to get into Planned Parenthood and to uncover these illegalities. So really the grand jury sort of turned everything on its head. The investigation apparently started into Planned Parenthood, and the grand jury, though, indicted these other 2, saying what the means you used to get that information was illegal in the California driver's
Let me
license.
stop you there. So, Guilfoyle, the reason they had these California IDs, and these are bogus, was because Planned Parenthood is a bank of anti-abortion activists, and they would have been in the bank so that they said we have to use these phony IDs so Planned Parenthood won't know who we are. Right? That's the rationale.
Well, that is the rationale, so that they could go in to be able to expose this and do investigative journalism to uncover, in fact, the practice that was happening. By the way, nobody's saying that Planned Parenthood wasn't doing that. In fact, they were, and they subsequently changed their policies and procedures based on the fine work that this group did to expose them for what they were doing. I don't feel that this is going to go anywhere further than a grand jury indictment like we've seen. I do not believe that they have sufficient evidence to convict them of the felony or the other charges. There was no intent specifically to sell or procure these fetal body parts, so this is basically a witch hunt.
Yeah, the
and
other
it's very
charge
low standard to get it.
Right.
Besides the phony ID, Wheel, the other charge is that they were engaging in trafficking in body parts.
Exactly.
But it was, everybody knows that it was phony.
Exactly. And then you can't prove the intent there, because we weren't actually going to buy these fetal parts. But let me just tell you, I just got off the phone with the lawyer for the center, right? And he said, and I looked at the statute, and he's right, it's an affirmative defense under the statute to say that the false document, yeah, it is false, but it was not intended to defraud.
Right.
Instead, it was intended to uncover illegal activity.
Right.
So that's going to be their defense, and I think it's a good one.
Well,
Yeah.
I think this is perhaps, Guilfoyle, I'm going to give you the last word on it. This is perhaps the most bogus charge I have seen in 20 years of doing this program. I think this is outrageous. I think that whoever is behind this prosecution, do we know who's behind this? The Harris County DA? That's Houston, Texas.
Right.
Republican.
Right.
This is a disgrace. This is a trumped-up thing, and I think it's going to get thrown out. Last word, Guilfoyle.
Yeah, well, you're right. We've seen that before in Harris County with delay. So I think justice ultimately will prevail. They should have never been indicted to begin with, and it is shameful.
It is, and and I'm not saying that Planned Parenthood committed a crime. I don't know.
We don't know that
I
exactly.
don't know.
And we don't
but
know
to
what
turn this around.
Exactly.
And viewers might remember that Mike Wallace on 60 Minutes did something very similar in Chicago. Set up a sting to expose corruption.
Right.
Use phony everything to do it.
Undercover journalism is usually protected. This is very unusual.
Okay, but these people aren't accredited journalists. They might have a problem there. All right, ladies, thank you. Gutfeld and McGurk on deck. We'll talk Oscar boycott and the Democrat town hall meeting last night. The boys, moments away.